start right now. Cubing at home regulations, last updated 6/15/2020 at 1:48 p.m. Wording uses of the words must not, should not, and may match RFC 2109. Contact for questions and feedback. Use the Cubing at Home Discord server. Contents: Article 1 competitors, Article 2 puzzles, Article 3 scrambling, Article 4 puzzle defects, Article 5 events, Article 6 solve states, Article 7 incidents, Article 8 speed solving, Article 9 blindfolded solving, Article 10 one-handed solving, Article 11 Fewest move solving, Article 12 clock solving, Article 13 multi-blind solving, Article 14 head-to-head finals, Article 1 competitors. Any person may compete in a Cubing at Home event, any person may compete in a Cubing at Home competition if they comply with Cubing at Home regulations, meet any competition requirements that may be listed on the competition website, and are not suspended from competing at Cubing at Home competitions. Competitors register by using a WCA account assigned to the Cubing at Home website. Competitors must register with the registration window listed on the Cubing at Home website. Competitors must not communicate with each other about the scrambled states of the puzzles of the rounds in progress. Penalty: disqualification of the competitors from the event or competition at the discretion of the Cubing at Home staff. While competing, competitors must not use electronics or audio equipment, e.g. cell phones, MP3 players, electronics, apart from a device being used to input result and access scrambles, as well as timing devices such as a stack mat timer or stopwatch. This includes relevant devices which are switched off or disconnected. Competitors may use non-electronic aids that do not give an unfair advantage at the discretion of the Cubing at Home staff. This includes medical/physical aids worn by the competitor, e.g. glasses, wrist brace, earplugs, and earmuffs, but not electronics, headphones, and earbuds, hand warmers, and food and drink. Competitors may use cameras while solving as long as the camera monitor is blank or out of sight of the competitor. Competitors must be present and ready to compete when a round begins and must submit their results before the round closes. Competitors who miss the rounds are not eligible to compete in the rounds. Competitors who are late to a round may compete in the round as long as they submit the results before the submission window closes. Competitors may not discuss scrambles or their times while a round is in progress. Penalty: disqualification at the discretion of Cubing at Home staff. Competitors with disabilities that may prevent them from abiding by one or more Cubing at Home regulations may request special accommodations from Cubing at Home. Competitors requesting such accommodations should contact the organization team before registration has closed. Article 2 puzzles. Competitors must provide their own puzzles for the competition. Puzzles must be fully operational such that normal scrambling is possible. Polyhedral puzzles must use a color scheme with one unique color per face in the solved state. Exception: mirror blocks. Each puzzle variation must have move states and solutions functionally identical to the original puzzle. Puzzles must not have electronic components, e.g. Bluetooth or Wi-Fi capabilities, motor sensors, lights. Puzzles must have colored parts which define the color scheme of the puzzle and must be one and only one of the following: colored stickers, colored tiles, colored plastic, or painted/printed colors. All colored parts of a puzzle must be made of similar material. Exceptions: clock and mirror blocks. The colors of the colored parts must be solid with one uniform color per face. Each color must be clearly distinct from the other colors. For mirror blocks, the following regulations apply. The puzzle must not have a logo. All sides of the puzzle must be clearly identifiable from each other, i.e. have distinct thicknesses on each side. All stickers/pieces of the puzzle must be the same color with no way of distinguishing one color from another. Modifications that enhance the basic concept of a puzzle are not permitted. Modified versions of puzzles are permitted only if the modification does not make any additional information available to the competitor, e.g. orientation or identity of pieces, compared to an unmodified version of the same puzzle. Puzzles with transparent parts that can reveal more information about the state of the puzzle are not permitted. Any modifications to a puzzle that result in poor performance by a competitor are not grounds for additional attempts. For clock, custom inserts, the same shape and size as the traditional paper inserts, are permitted at the discretion of Cubing at Home staff. The inserts must have a clear indication of 12 o'clock that matches the original inserts. Puzzles must be clean and must not have any markings, elevated pieces, damage, or other differences that significantly distinguish any piece from a similar piece. Exception: a logo. See 2.7. Puzzles are permitted to have reasonable wear at the discretion of Cubing at Home staff. Definition: two pieces are similar to each other if they are identical in shape and size, or mirrored in shape and identical in size. Corrugated/textured parts which permit the orientation of pieces to be distinguished by feel are not permitted for blindfolded events. Penalty for attempts done with puzzles which are not permitted, disqualification of the attempt, DNF. The following exceptions apply: 3x3x3 multi-blind. If any puzzles are found to be non-permitted, such puzzles may be individually counted as unsolved without disqualifying the entire attempt at the discretion of cubing at home staff. A puzzle may have a logo on a colored part. If it does, it must have at most one colored part with a logo. Exception for blindfolded events: a puzzle must not have a logo. The logo must be placed on a centerpiece. Exceptions for puzzles that do not have centerpieces: for Pyraminx and TY2, for Pyraminx and TY2, the logo may be on any piece. For Square 1, the logo must be on a piece in the equatorial slice. The logo may be embossed, engraved, or consist of an overlay sticker. All brands of puzzles and puzzle parts are permitted as long as the puzzles comply with all cubing at home regulations. Article 3, Scrambling. Video tutorials for all events can be found here. For 5x5, 6x6, and 7x7, mis-scrambles are allowed as long as the cube is reasonably scrambled. Article 4, Puzzle Defects. Examples of puzzle defects include pop parts, pieces twisted in place, and detached screws, caps, stickers. If a puzzle defect occurs during an attempt, the competitor may choose to either repair the defect and continue the attempt or to stop the attempt. If a competitor chooses to repair the puzzle, they may repair only the defective parts. Tools and/or parts of other puzzles must not be used to repair the original puzzle. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt, DNF. Any repair to a puzzle must not give the competitor an advantage in solving the puzzle. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt, DNF. Permitted repairs: if any parts have fallen out or moved out of place, the competitor may place them back. If the competitor repairs the puzzle but finds that the puzzle is unsolvable later during the solve, they may disassemble and reassemble a maximum of 4 pieces to make the puzzle solvable. If the puzzle is unsolvable and can be made solvable by rotating a piece, the competitor may correct the piece by twisting it in place without disassembling the puzzle. During a blindfolded phase, see 9.4, all repairs must be performed blindfolded. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt, DNF. If some parts of the puzzle are physically detached or not fully placed at the end of the solve, the following regulations apply. If one or more parts without colored faces are affected, the puzzle is considered solved. If one part with one colored face is affected, the puzzle is considered solved. If more than one part with one colored face is affected, the puzzle is considered unsolved, DNF. If one or more parts with more than one colored face are affected, the puzzle is considered unsolved, DNF. Regulations 4.2.5.3 and 4.2.5.4 supersede 4.2.5.1 and 4.2.5.2. Article 5, Events. The results of a round are measured as follows. All timed results are measured and truncated to the nearest hundredth of a second. The results of an attempt is recorded at DNF, did not finish if the attempt is disqualified or unsolved/unfinished. The result of an attempt is recorded as DNS, did not start, if the competitor is eligible for an attempt but declines it. For best of X rounds, each competitor is allotted X attempts. The best result of these attempts determines the competitor's ranking in the round. For best of X events, or for best of X rounds, a DNF or DNS is the worst possible result. For average of 5 rounds, competitors are allotted 5 attempts. Of these 5 attempts, the best and worst attempts are removed, and the arithmetic mean of the remaining 3 attempts determines the competitor's ranking in the round. For average of 5 rounds, 1 DNF or DNS is permitted to count as the competitor's worst result of the round. If a competitor has more than 1 DNF and/or DNS in the round, their average result for the round is DNF. For a mean of 3 rounds, competitors are allotted 3 attempts. The arithmetic mean of the 3 attempts determines the competitor's ranking in the round. For a mean of 3 rounds, if the competitor has at least 1 DNF or DNS result, their average result for the round is DNF. For best of X rounds, rankings are assessed based on the best result per competitor. The following are used to compare results. For timed results, better is defined as a shorter time. For 3x3 multi-blind, rankings are assessed based on the number of puzzles solved minus the number of puzzles not solved, while a greater difference is better. If the difference is less than 0, or if only 1 puzzle is solved, the attempt is considered unsolved, DNF. If competitors achieve the same result, rankings are assessed based on total time, where the shorter recorded time is better. If competitors achieve the same result and the same time, rankings are assessed based on the number of puzzles the competitors fail to solve, where fewer unsolved puzzles are better. For a mean of 3 and average of 5 rounds, rankings are assessed based on the ordering of the averages/means of the competitors, where better is the smaller recorded result. For a mean of 3 and average of 5 rounds, if 2 or more competitors Achieve identical average/mean results. Rankings are assessed based on the best attempt per competitor, where better is defined as a smaller recorded result. Competitors who achieve the same result in a round receive an identical ranking for the round. At least 25% of competitors must be eliminated between consecutive rounds of the same event. The competitors who advance to the next round are determined by ranking best X competitors, or by result all competitors with a better result than X in the preceding round. Article 6, Solve State. Only the resting state of the puzzle after the timer has been stopped is considered. The puzzle may be in any orientation at the end of the solve. All parts of a puzzle must be physically attached to the puzzle and fully placed in their required positions. Exception see Regulation 4.2.4. A puzzle is solved when all colored parts are reassembled and all parts are aligned within the limits specified below. If no further moves are required to bring the puzzle to its solved state, the puzzle is considered solved without penalty. If one move is required, the puzzle is considered solved with a time penalty plus 2 seconds. If more than one move is required, the puzzle is considered unsolved. Dnf limits of acceptable misalignment for puzzles: n by n by n cubes and mirror blocks at most 45 degrees, megaminx and kilominx at most 36 degrees, pyraminx cube face turning octahedron, and ready cube at most 60 degrees, square 1 at most 45 degrees u/d, or 90 degrees / puzzles not specified in this article are judged according to the solve times as defined by the generally accepted goal of the puzzle. The solve state of clock is achieved when all 18 interfaces point to 12 o'clock. The solve state of mirror blocks is achieved when the puzzle is a perfect cube. Article 7, Incidents. Incidents include incorrect execution of event procedures by officials or competitors, interference or interruptions, e.g. power outage, a loud noise made by someone else, equipment malfunction. If an incident occurs, the Cubing at Home staff determines an impartial and appropriate course of action. If the Cubing at Home regulations are not fully clear, or if the incident is not covered by the Cubing at Home regulations, then the Cubing at Home staff must make a decision based on fair sportsmanship, also see 7.4.3. If an incident occurs during an attempt, the Cubing at Home staff may grant a competitor an extra attempt, replacing the attempt during which the incident occurred. The competitor must appeal verbally or in writing to the Cubing at Home staff at the time of the incident before finishing the original attempt to be eligible for an extra attempt. An appeal does not guarantee the competitor an extra attempt. If a competitor is granted an extra attempt, the extra attempt must be scrambled using an extra scramble. If a competitor is granted an extra attempt, the extra attempt should be done right after the attempt that caused it and must replace the original regularly numbered attempt. If it is unclear whether an incident should result in an extra attempt, the competitor may be granted a provisional extra attempt that will only be used if it is later found that an extra attempt was appropriate, e.g. by a decision of the Cubing at Home staff. Decisions about an incident may be supported with video or photographic analysis at the discretion of Cubing at Home staff. Speed solve. Article 8, Speed solving. Speed solving attempts must abide by the following procedures: scrambling. The competitor Article 8, Speed solving. Speed solving attempts must abide by the following procedures: scrambling. The competitor scrambles the puzzle according to the regulations in Article 2. The competitor places the puzzle on a surface such as a table, desk, floor, etc. Inspection. The competitor may inspect the puzzle at the start of each attempt. The competitor is allotted a maximum of 15 seconds to inspect the puzzle and start the solve. It is recommended that competitors use an inspection tool like cubing.net/inspect or https://cubing.net/inspection. The competitor may pick up the puzzle during inspection. The competitor must not apply moves during inspection. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt. Dnf. At the end of the inspection, the competitor places the puzzle on the surface in any orientation. Starting the solve, the competitor must have no physical contact with the puzzle while starting the solve. Penalty: time penalty plus 2 seconds. The competitor must start the solve within 15 seconds of the start of the inspection. Penalty: time penalty plus 2 seconds. The competitor must start the solve within 17 seconds of the start of the inspection. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt. Dnf. Time penalties for starting the solve are cumulative. During the solve, while inspecting or solving the puzzle, the competitor must not communicate with anyone else. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt. Dnf. While inspecting or solving the puzzle, the competitor must not receive assistance from anyone or any object other than the surface. Also see Regulation 1.4. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt. Dnf. The competitor may hold the puzzle against the surface to help operate the puzzle. Stopping the solve, the competitor releases the puzzle before stopping the solve and stops the solve by stopping the timer. Penalty plus 2. The competitor is responsible for stopping the timer correctly. After releasing the puzzle, the competitor should not apply moves to the puzzle. Penalty: disqualification of the attempt. Time penalties for stopping the solve are cumulative. Recording results. The competitor records their results using the submission form on the website. By entering the times, the competitor is verifying that the times are correct. If penalties are assigned, the competitor records the final result rather than the initial time. Example, a time of 10.00 seconds that receives a +2 penalty will be entered in as 12.00. Time penalties for the puzzles of relays are cumulative. Article 9, blindfolded solving. Standard speed solving procedures are followed as described in Article 8. Speed solving. Additional regulations that supersede the corresponding procedures in Article 8 are described below. There is no inspection period. Starting the attempt, competitors are encouraged to place the puzzle under a cube cover after it has been scrambled. The competitor must have no physical contact with the puzzle or a cover before the start of the attempt. Time penalty +2 seconds. The competitor starts the attempt by starting the timer. If a cover is being used, the competitor removes the cover from the puzzle after starting the timer. Memorization phase. The competitor may pick up the puzzle during the memorization phase. The competitor must not make any physical or digital notes. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. The competitor must not apply moves to the puzzle during the memorization phase. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. Blindfolded phase. The competitor dons the blindfold to start the blindfolded phase. The competitor must not apply moves to the puzzle before they have fully donned the blindfold. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. The competitor must not look at the puzzle at any point during the blindfolded phase. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. Until the competitor applies the first move to the puzzle, they may remove the blindfold to return to the memorization phase. Stopping the solve. The competitor stops the solve by releasing the puzzle and then stopping the timer. If the competitor is not touching the puzzle, they may remove the blindfold before they stop the timer. They must not touch the puzzle until the end of the solve. Penalty for touching the puzzle, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. Article 10, one-handed solving. Standard speed solving standard speed solving procedures are followed as described in Article 8. Speed solving. Additional regulations that supersede the corresponding procedures in Article 8 are described below. During the solve, the competitor must use only one hand to operate the puzzle. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. If a puzzle defect occurs and the competitor chooses to repair it, they must repair it using only the solving hand. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. If other body parts of the competitor come in contact with the puzzle or parts of the puzzle without the competitor's intention and without applying moves, this is not considered operating the puzzle at the discretion of cubing at home staff. During the solve, the competitor may hold the puzzle against the surface to help operate the puzzle. During the solve, once a competitor operates the puzzle with one hand, they must not operate the puzzle with the other hand. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. Article 11, Fewest move solving. Procedure for 3x3x3 fewest moves. All competitors have a total time limit of 60 minutes to find and submit a solution. At 60 minutes, each competitor must submit their solution. The competitor's solution must only use moves that are exactly defined as notation for the 3x3x3 cube in this video, and must not use any symbols or combinations of symbols that are not specifically defined there. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. The competitor's solution is considered correct if starting with a solved puzzle and applying the scramble sequence followed by the solution results in a solved puzzle. Penalty for an incorrect solution, disqualification of the attempt. DNF. The competitor's result is the number of moves in their solution calculated using outer block turn metric. The competitor's solution must not exceed 80 moves, including rotations when calculated using execution turn metric. Execution turn metric ETM is defined as each move of the categories face moves, outer block moves, and rotations is counted as one move. The competitor's solution must not be directly derived from any part of the scramble sequence. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt. DNF at the discretion of the cubing at home staff. Cubing at home staff may contact competitors to explain the purpose of each move in their solution, irrespective of the scramble sequence. If the competitor cannot give a valid explanation, the attempt is disqualified. DNF. The competitor may use the following objects during the attempt. Penalty for using unauthorized objects. Disqualification of the attempt. DNF. Paper and pens / pencils or similar writing utensils. 3x3x3 cubes, at most 3, self-supplied as described in Article 2. Stickers, self-supplied. A device, stopwatch or watch for keeping track of the elapsed time. A device to submit the solution and explanation. Cubing at home staff may choose to publish the solutions, e.g. photos of scratch paper or transcriptions of solutions. Article 12, clock solving. Standard speed solving procedures are followed as described in Article 8. Speed solving. Additional regulations that supersede the corresponding procedures in Article 8 are described below. At the end of the inspection period, the Competitor places the puzzle in a standing position. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt, DNF. The competitor must not change the positions of any pins from the scrambled positions before the start of the solve. Penalty, disqualification of the attempt, DNF. Article 13, multi-blind solving. Standard blindfolded solving procedures are followed as described in Article 9, blindfolded solving. Additional regulations that supersede the corresponding procedures in Article 9 are described below. Before the attempt, the scrambled puzzles must be placed on the table in an arbitrary orientation. While ensuring they remain completely covered, the puzzles should be arranged in a shape as square as possible, e.g. 8 puzzles should be arranged in 2 rows with 3 puzzles and 1 row with 2 puzzles. If a competitor is attempting fewer than 6 puzzles, they are allotted a time limit of 10 minutes times the number of puzzles in the event, else the time limit is 60 minutes. The competitor may end the solve at any time. When the time limit is reached, the competitor stops the attempt, and the attempt is then scored. The time limit for the attempt counts as the original recorded time. Time penalties for the puzzles of the attempt are cumulative. Article 14, head-to-head final. Standard speed solving procedures are followed as described in Article 8, speed solving. Additional regulations that supersede the corresponding procedures in Article 8 are described below. Competitors compete at the same time facing an opponent. Competitors compete in a first to 5 wins format where a win is defined as the time faster than the other competitor. Done. Okay. 21 minutes, 4.76 seconds.